Hey everyone, Mary Ellen Vanaken, Sue Jennings. We're the real estate ladies of North Atlanta. And we're going to talk about North Atlanta versus Jacksonville, Florida. So if you're moving from Jacksonville or you're wanting to move to North Atlanta, Georgia, this is the place to be. Just remember, we help people in the North Atlanta area buy or sell properties. So we are here, Sue and I, to help you, educate you, and guide you in the right direction. And stay tuned because we are going to compare some properties from Jacksonville to Atlanta. So see what you can get difference. All right, so let's get right into it today, Sue, and talk about Jacksonville and tell us what's the difference between Jacksonville and North Atlanta.
Well, Jacksonville, or Jax, is Florida's largest city by land area, and it offers a more balanced, affordable cost of living compared to the coastal luxury towns of Florida. It's often viewed as a place where you can get more house for the money, actually, in Jacksonville, Florida, than some other areas. How does that truly stack up against the financial benefits of the North Metro Atlanta area? In this video, we're actually going to talk about the monthly cost of homeownership here versus there, maybe what you spend on insurance, utility bills, and how your total family budget shakes out in Jacksonville versus the living in the North Atlanta area. In Jacksonville, the median home price is about $315,000.
Wow.
It's a really affordable area to live in Florida. While the home price is low, homeowners have to budget for higher than average utility costs, though.
And interesting.
Also, property insurance. You have to consider wind and flood from potential hurricanes coming up the coast. You can still add another $300 to $600 per month onto your budget just for that. We generally don't get the hurricanes that come up the coast because we are far enough inland and far enough north in Georgia that, we don't see those expenses as much as far as property insurance and that sort of thing. The property tax rates in Jacksonville, though, are generally a little bit better than North Atlanta for the value.
Okay, so what are they around?
It really depends upon the property itself, but utilities, electric, water, gas, and trash, they fall between $250 and $400 a month in Jacksonville.
Okay.
The city owns a lot of those utilities, and it's often cited by locals as a major expense. Bills peak in the summer months because of the heat and the intense need for air conditioning. In terms of transportation, it's a sprawling car-dependent city.
I wonder, like Atlanta.
Sounds familiar to me. Car insurance costs are between $150 to $220 a month, and the commute can be long as there are no fixed transit costs, very similar to Atlanta from that standpoint. Daycare for an infant, childcare costs can run you between $1,100 and $1,700 a month, depending upon where you are placing your child for daycare. And private schools can run you between $8,000 and $18,000 a year. The public school quality in Duval County is relatively mixed. There's some highly rated magnet schools there and suburban schools, while other schools face significant challenges in that area. One of the big draws to the Florida area in Jacksonville is that there's no state income tax.
Yes,
that's
a big
financial draw. And the sales tax in Duval County is 7.5%, which is higher than some other Florida counties. Here's the breakdown of what you might be thinking about if you're thinking about moving to the North Atlanta area and what you should know about the cost of living here, including taxes.
Should we just kind of show a property, though, in Jacksonville, just so people
I think we should start by showing that and then talking about living in the North Atlanta area and how that compares.
Okay, well, perfect here. What we have here is we have 14081 Crestwick Drive East in Jacksonville. It's actually under contract. It's 4 bedrooms, 2 baths, 1,900 square feet for $284,900. It's on a little over a quarter of an acre. It was built in 2003. So just a couple pictures here so you can kind of see what you get here. Ranches are there's a lot of ranches in Florida, right, Sue?
There are.
I mean, and you're going to have this all on one level, where in Georgia, when we show you our Georgia properties, it's probably going to be on two different levels. So this is a really nice house. It's 1,900 square feet, 284,000, has a little backyard, has a little, and, you know, it has a nice little backyard and a screened in porch, which you need for the mosquitoes, right? Right? We definitely need those for the mosquitoes, don't we? So let's get into North Atlanta now and talk about a little bit about North Atlanta to compare it and contrast it to Jacksonville, Florida.
Well, overall, living in the North Atlanta area, the cost of living is actually slightly higher than the Georgia state average, to be perfectly honest with you. But the cost of living in Georgia as a whole is slightly below the U.S. national average. Housing, whether you're renting or buying, tends to be your biggest expense, especially in the really desirable, well-positioned, located suburbs. So we've got a few houses here that Mary Ellen's going to start showing for us as well. But do you want to talk about taxes and utilities first, Mary Ellen?
Yeah, why don't you talk about taxes and utilities, and I'm going to bring up some of those photos and pictures while we're doing that. How about that? So
Georgia's base state sales tax is 4%. Local jurisdictions in and around the metro Atlanta area typically add more on top of that. In many parts of Atlanta, the local sales tax in total, things end up being closer to over 8%. Property taxes in Fulton County are 1.09% for an effective property tax rate. Gwinnett County, they're at 1.3%, yet they can be lower in other counties such as Forsyth County, depending upon the local assessment and the millage rates. So where is this first home that you're showing us?
So this property here is at 315 Village Chase in Woodstock, Georgia. So explain everybody where Woodstock is, Sue.
Woodstock is if you're thinking about a clock, and Atlanta being in, the center of that clock, you would go north and a little bit west. It's right off of the Beltway of 285, and you would go a little bit north on 75, which is the northwest corridor that comes down from the northwest to the southeast in Atlanta. Woodstock is a growing area. It has a lot of more affordable homes in that area, but has a great downtown walkable area that has great restaurants and shops, and is very, very appealing to a lot of people. Yeah,
so this house, so what we see is it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It's 1,252 square feet. So it was built in 2015. But what you're going to see is it's a little, obviously, smaller than the one that we showed from Jacksonville. But we just kind of want to see what you can get and obviously it's going to be 2 different levels too as well. So it's not as wide. And a reasoning why in Georgia, it seems that a lot of the lots in Georgia are, they're narrow, and so the builders build up instead of building wide like they do in Florida. So this is kind of what you get for $339, a little bit smaller square footage, a little bit. So, it's pretty, I would say it's expensive to live here. It's not as inexpensive as it is in Jacksonville. So here's another one that's in Cumming. Now Cumming's just north of Alpharetta, and it's
sort of at 12 o'clock when you're thinking about the clock of Atlanta.
And this is 3230 Century Drive in Cumming at 325, and it's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It's about 1,500 square feet. This one was built in 2001. So we'll take a look at this one, and you can kind of compare and contrast. Yes, you've got, of course, it's going to be 2 levels. The other one was 1 level, right? So you just get, it's a little more, the kitchen's probably a little smaller. So you're going to get more, it's a good location to Alpharetta and to some of the places where people are working. So people do live in Cumming. It's a great area. And the taxes are lower than if you live in Alpharetta. So let's look at this one. This one's really cute. It's $347,500, and this one is in Gainesville. So it's 6760 Thunder Trail, Gainesville, Georgia. And a thing about Gainesville, it's like close to the lake. It's 3 bedrooms, 2.5 baths. It's 1,442 square feet. This one was built in 2025. So obviously you have some of the new little touches. It probably was a tear down and then they rebuilt a house here. So this is kind of what you get for your money. So of course it's going to have all those new touches and everything like that you see in new construction. So that's also an option. And Gainesville is a little further out. It's closer to the lake, and it's affordable. Where Alpharetta and parts of Cumming and parts of Roswell has become a lot more expensive. So a lot of first-time home buyers that don't have a budget will go to these little areas where you can find these little diamond in the roughs. That's what I'm kind of seeing, right, Sue?
Yeah, this is a nice house because it doesn't require any renovations. It's totally move-in ready, has a nice little yard. And actually, if you're into boating and water sports, the proximity to Lake Lanier with this home is really attractive to a lot of people. You're not far from the North Georgia mountains either. If you enjoy vineyards or hiking or any of the activities in the North Georgia mountains area, this might be a great location for you.
Yeah, and if you like the lake, it's really nice too. And we're going to show one more, and this one's really cute as well, and it's $339.99, and this is in Cumming, probably North Cumming, from what I understand. It's 1,264 square feet. It's 4975 Winston Road in Cumming. It's 2 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, and it was built in 2023. And let's take a look at this one, and just a cute little house. I mean, it's definitely, since it was built in 2023, you're going to get a lot of those new features that people are looking for. Yet you're close to the lake here as well. And Cumming is a great, it's a different county than some Alpharetta. So Alpharetta has 3 different counties. They have Cherokee, Forsyth, and Fulton. So this is, so north of Alpharetta is Cumming, and that's in Forsyth County. So another thing, tell us about Forsyth County taxes if you are over 62.
Forsyth County taxes are only 1.09% for an effective tax rate on the properties. And, it's a growing area, so they're building new schools, and the schools are strong. There's also downtown Cumming that has a really nice town center area that's recently been built. Great restaurants and shopping and walkable, and there are a lot of activities located in that central area of downtown Cumming. Really a nice area to live in. The one thing I can tell you is that as far as utilities with these homes, they're going to be considered moderately priced compared to the national averages. They're not cheap, but they're also not high compared to other, metro areas of the country. One thing that you need to keep in mind when you move to the North Atlanta area is transportation and where you're going to be working. Because we do have a lot of traffic in Atlanta, we do not have a huge presence of public transportation. We do have MARTA, which has buses and a rail system. It is limited though as far as their routes and so forth that they do offer. So you want to keep that in mind as to where you'll be working and what your transportation is going to be like, because we don't want you sitting in an hour of traffic each way to go to and from work. One thing I can tell you is that we do have great grocery stores in the area. We have Trader Joe's and Whole Foods. We have Publix, which is very popular and actually from Florida. Grocery costs in the Atlanta area tend to track around the U.S. national average, maybe a little bit higher. As a rough guideline, a modest average monthly grocery budget for a family of 4 should be, in your mind, at least $300 to $500 per adult, depending upon your diet, your family size, and so forth, and your buying habits, of course. Dining out is very affordable, and we do have a lot of great restaurants, as we mentioned, in that Cumming City Center area, as well as in downtown Alpharetta, Johns Creek, and Sandy Springs, and so forth, other areas in the North Metro area. You can budget between $15 to $20 per person for, a modest casual restaurant, for mid-range dining for 2 with drinks or nicer items included. It could run into the $60 to $90 per person range, depending upon how nice you go. Public schools here are funded by taxes, So there's no direct tuition. Property taxes factor into the school funding. And for families coming from another state, this can feel like a free education for their children. But there are private school alternatives if that's what you so choose. There are plenty of daycares and preschools in this area. They generally average about $1,400 per month. And we advise families to look at greatschools.org, to look at the ratings on the schools, and make their own decisions as to what might work best for their children. Otherwise, you can budget between $12,000 and $18,000 per year per child if you choose to send them to private school. Healthcare, Mary Ellen, why don't you talk about healthcare?
Yeah, I mean, healthcare, you've got Florida, and what is Florida is known for, right? Lots of healthcare, but we are up, I'm technology driven here in the North Atlanta area. So we have lots of medical, we have lots of hospitals and lots of doctors' offices. It has grown so much in here, so they are just changing with the times. You're going to find something close by. You're going to find specialists. You're going to find everything that you need up in the North Atlanta area.
So what does all of this mean to people moving from Jacksonville, Florida, the northern part of Florida, to the North Metro Atlanta area? Compared to many higher cost states, North Metro Atlanta tends to offer a good value for the money, especially when you're factoring in the type of housing you can get, reasonable utilities, food costs, education, and moderate taxes overall. Affordability will depend a lot on the county that you choose to move to because taxes do differ. Commute times can differ. Amenities can differ between neighborhoods. It comes down to lifestyle and what you are looking for in terms of the way you want to live your life. Maybe you want a community with a lot of amenities such as swim, tennis, or maybe even golf nearby. Maybe you want to be walkable to a downtown area. These are all things that we need to take into consideration when you're looking for a home in the North Metro Atlanta area. Take a look at those schools, and also maybe if you're not interested in being a homeowner here, maybe you're interested in being an investor here, because there are a lot of opportunities where you can make a nice return on your investment as an investor in the North Metro Atlanta area. We can help you with rental yields and other expenses that you need to calculate into that ROI.
So in conclusion, we're here to help you whether you're moving from Florida, moving to Florida. We have agents all across the world that can help you purchase a home everywhere. We just wanted to give you some guidance on if we're comparing Jacksonville to North Atlanta, this is what you get. So thanks for tuning in today. If you need more information, a relocation guide below, you will find all that information, and you can reach out to us anytime. Have a great day, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye.